Donald Trump wants you distracted because right now he's losing on every single front. Whether it's the looming government shutdown he can't seem to negotiate his way out of, the ongoing scandals that keep resurfacing, or the countless failures within his administration, Trump is running out of ways to shift attention away from himself. But this time, his usual distraction tactics aren't working. And that's exactly what Jesse Watters accidentally admitted on air. He said something that completely exposes what Trump doesn't want people to know. We're going to break down that clip and why it has Trump reportedly panicking. Before we do, if you're enjoying this coverage, make sure to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It really helps support our work and keeps independent commentary like this going strong. Now, before we dive into Jesse Watters' revealing admission, let's start with someone who's calling out one of Donald Trump's biggest failures right now: his refusal to take real action on the government shutdown. Here's what Governor Gavin Newsom had to say.
Well, I hope it gives some closure as it relates to some of the anxiety that may have been felt. How did this happen? Who's responsible? Can this happen again? What lessons we learn? So at least from that perspective, a little bit of closure. That said, it's cold comfort for those who lost their homes and are coming through the recovery. What I do say is that we need to really now, I think, call out why the President of the United States and Congress has refused to provide support to those that have been victimized by this arsonist and this devastation. $39 billion for months and months and months. And the President of the United States has said nothing. Speaker of the House said he's not interested in helping the American people that were devastating, lives torn asunder here in Los Angeles. I mean, where is the accountability in that respect? Where's the spirit that defines the best of this country? To be here for fellow Americans in the time of recovery, uncertainty. It's been months, not a peep from the President of the United States, not a word from Speaker Johnson. I was proud as a taxpayer, as an American, to have Speaker Johnson's back when his district in his state was devastated by floods. I said the same thing to Greg Abbott as we sent him personnel and support because he needed it with the devastation of the flood. And I'm proud that our tax dollars, disproportionately California's tax dollars, will be used to help support the recovery in Texas. That's what makes America great. Not a word from the Republican Party, not a word from Speaker Johnson, not a word from the President of the United States. I applaud the work that initiated under the Biden administration in this investigation and the work that this administration did as it relates to finding this person and ultimately pushing these charges and making these charges. But I find it shameful that they haven't done a damn thing for the thousands of people who lost their homes and whose lives were devastated from this disaster. Not a word from the President of the United States.
Donald Trump doesn't want to take action because he doesn't know how to take action. Project 2025 was created as a blueprint for Republicans to follow, built around the understanding that Donald Trump's leadership skills and focus simply aren't what they used to be. He wants to hand off responsibility to others while continuing to project an image of being a strong and decisive leader. But that's just not the reality. Right now, Trump is losing in court, losing political support and facing growing challenges not only from his base, but from within his own party in Congress. Things are getting increasingly difficult, from the ongoing government shutdown drama to renewed scrutiny over his past associations. Even members of his own political circle, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, are now speaking out, hinting at major developments involving key investigations that could shake up Washington. Let's take a closer look at what she had to say before we get to that revealing Jesse Watters clip.
Epstein files, wanting to release those. I know Democrats have also been calling for that, a few other Republicans as well. The Democrats are accusing Speaker Johnson of delaying the swearing in of Arizona's Democratic Congresswoman-elect because she would give the last vote needed to release those Epstein files. I'm wondering, the Speaker, for his part, he has denied that. He said it's because of the shutdown. Have you spoken to him? Do you think she should be sworn in right away?
Well, I'll say it like this. I can't conclusively say if that's why the House is not in session, but the House should be in session. And the House should be in session for many reasons. We have appropriation bills that need to get passed. There is a new Democrat that's been elected that does deserve to be sworn in. Her district elected her. We have other bills that we need to be passing. And if it's to avoid the discharge petition, why drag this out? That is going to have 218 signatures. And so I say go ahead and do it and get it over with.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much that Donald Trump doesn't want you paying attention to. There is so much that Donald Trump doesn't want you focused on, and that is the reason why he has his propagandists 24/7 spinning up news, creating fake narratives, and trying to keep you distracted. We've always known that, but they've never admitted it until now when Jesse Waters made clear that this is a coordinated effort. Saying this right here, Jesse Waters thanks Trump for being a de facto Fox News producer. Fox host Jesse Waters thanked Donald Trump for essentially acting as a Fox News producer because of the content Trump creates. On Wednesday, the president held an Antifa round at the White House, where he reiterated his claim that a group of far-left activists is conspiring to wreak havoc in U.S. cities. The meeting came amid reporting that Trump is considering invoking the Insurrection Act, which would allow him to deploy active duty soldiers to conduct law enforcement operations in the U.S.
That the president's considering is the Insurrection Act because a federal judge in Portland has blocked his ability to go at this the way he wants to. Do you think we're going to see the Insurrection Act employed in order to get more National Guard into these places?
I wish we didn't have to see it, but Democrats are not doing their job, so we might have to see it. I'd rather be called a gnat than a Nazi, Harold. And I brought a poll. I thought you were Jessica, but you're Harold today. And a majority of Americans think Trump is deporting the right types of people. It is funny to watch Trump be a Fox News producer. We wake up in the morning and we look at the news and you see Trump is holding an Antifa roundtable at the White House and you just say thank you. Thank you, Donald Trump. This is the best. We know all of these reporters that are around this roundtable. Nick Sorter, Davis Court, Andy No. They're like guests on our shows. The mainstream media has probably never heard of any of these people, and this is why this is such great programming.
Jesse Waters is literally giving away the game that Donald Trump is creating nonsense. He's spinning up, so the right-wing outlets can take these narratives, misconstrue them, run with false stories, so you don't pay attention to the Epstein scandal. So, you might not be following the government shutdown closely, or noticing Donald Trump's continued losses in court as he targets blue states and cities. But here's the reality. Those same blue states, with crime rates now dropping to historic lows, are actually the economic backbone of the country. States like California and New York generate most of America's wealth. Wealth that often ends up supporting many red states that rely heavily on federal assistance. In fact, states like Missouri, Texas, and Louisiana depend on the contributions of these donor states to keep their budgets afloat. So, if certain leaders want to complain about how blue states operate, maybe they should first take a look at the numbers. Because when it comes to productivity and stability, those areas are keeping the country running. But Donald Trump doesn't want people focused on that. He'd rather the attention be on whatever new distraction is being amplified on certain media outlets. That's why it's important to push back, to clarify what's actually happening. Donald Trump has been using the power of the presidency to serve his own interests, whether it's protecting his personal image, expanding political control, or deflecting from ongoing investigations. And as Chris Hayes explained tonight, the latest developments involving Letitia James reveal just how far this strategy has gone and why it's all starting to unravel.
York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted by Donald Trump's Department of Justice on one count of bank fraud and one count of false statements to a financial institution. Now, this is one of those situations where basically everyone in the political world, anyone who's watching the news develop, saw this coming. And the reason is that the President of the United States explicitly, in writing, directed the Attorney General to indict his political opponents on obviously trumped-up charges. 19 days ago, Donald Trump posted this message on social media, quote, "Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time, all talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is being done," adding, quote, "We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now, President DJT." At the time, given how brazen that was, there was speculation that it must have been meant as a private directive to his AG to go after his enemies using the full tools of the Department of Justice. Well, now we know it was. According to the Wall Street Journal, quote, "Trump meant to send a private message to Attorney General Pam Bondi urging her to prosecute former FBI Director James Comey and his other favored targets, according to U.S. officials familiar with the matter." Trump believed he had sent Bondi the message directly, addressing it to Pam, and was surprised to learn it was public, the official said. Public or private, the message was received. Trump's U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, that man there, a guy named Eric Siebert, was pushed out. Trump publicly called for him to leave because he did not believe there was sufficient evidence to charge Letitia James or James Comey. We've got reporting that there were even memos written to that effect by line attorneys. And then Siebert was promptly replaced by Trump's former personal attorney, Lindsay Halligan, who had 0 previous experience as a prosecutor, never even tried a case.
Letitia James is doing exactly what James Comey once did, showing that Donald Trump isn't the strong or confident leader he claims to be. By standing firm and refusing to back down, she's exposing the weaknesses in his leadership and in his legal strategy. In court, we're seeing an administration that's simply not prepared, one without clear arguments, direction, or accountability. And that brings us to Donald Trump's broader approach to governing, what I call a politics of subtraction. He believes that if he targets enough communities, removes enough opposition, or blames enough people, everything will somehow work out. But that's not how leadership works. Homelessness doesn't exist because of encampments. It exists because of deep, long-term economic failures, decisions made over decades that ignored the growing affordability crisis. That's why so many Americans, especially younger generations, are struggling even to imagine owning a home. And when it comes to equality and inclusion, being different doesn't make someone less human. Every person deserves respect and dignity, no matter who they are or who they love. That's something we should all be able to agree on. The truth is, you can't build a better nation by tearing people down. Division doesn't lead to strength. Compassion, fairness, and opportunity do, and we'll keep calling that out right here. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit the subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.